Today, I'll be informing you guys about the largemouth bass and its habitat. The largemouth bass, I think, is a very unique aquatic species of freshwater fish. Their habitat, they live in lakes, rivers, creeks, and even little ponds and streams. After doing my research on this species of fish, I've come to know, more about them and have learned unique things about them. And I hope, after this speech, I can inform y'all and give y'all more knowledge on bass, the largemouth. The largemouth bass, they're very intelligent and species, and they're also beautiful. Their color, they're like a light green color with the dark stripes on their side. I wish I had a visual for you guys today, but my computer wasn't working right, so sorry about that. Not many people truly know and appreciate the largemouth bass and all it does for our ecosystem and to help maintain our ecosystem and keep balance. Some of you may ask, how does the largemouth bass, help the ecosystem? Well, you're about to find out. They play a huge role in their habitat by they help maintain vegetation, and they also decrease, they help keep small fish populations and insect populations, really low, which is good because I know none of us like insects, mosquitoes and whatever. Their young actually decreases the mosquito population by eating them. There's I think it's called a fry. It's their, when the eggs hatch and the bass, grows to be at least 2 inches in size, they eat things such as plankton and insect larvae. So that's how they maintain their habitat. The largemouth bass, they're very territorial, and they're one of the top predators in their habitat. The only time bass are seen in big groups is when there's an overabundance of food in an area. Mostly, bass like to keep to themselves. They have their own territory, and they don't like any other fish, invading that privacy that they have. But every once in a while, there will be an overabundance of food, and that's when bass come together and take care of that problem. So, according to the website AmericanExpedition.us, I think I just told y'all, when a bass grows to be 2 inches in size, then they are classified as a predator. And there's also many different species of largemouth bass. You have the black bass, green bass, southern largemouth, and the peacock bass. And the largemouth is by far one of the most aggressive out of the family, and they will attack almost anything that moves. And when it's time for mating season, they have a very unique process of how they do this. The male actually is in charge of making the bed for the female, and the female comes to the male and picks which one she likes the best, and she lays her eggs in the bed, and the male fertilizes them. And the female, after that, she moves off. She's done. And it's the male's job to guard the nest, make sure no other kind of predators, eat the eggs. And actually, I didn't know this, even after the eggs hatch, the male largemouth still, guards his fish, the little bass, until they grow, to where they're able to fend for themselves. So that's pretty unique, I thought. The average lifespan of a largemouth bass is actually pretty incredible, 16 to 20 years. Throughout their life, they never stop growing. They continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, a lot of people think that the average size bass is, I'd say, after doing research, 5 to 8 pounds, but they get much bigger than that if they're able to grow through their life, and they have a good food source and good habitat. They can get up to 12 pounds and above. Just they never stop. The largemouth, they're very stealthy predators. They like to use their environment to hunt and find prey to eat. They actually blend in, and that's how they catch their food. They love hiding in structures like logs and thick grass and even rocks. So that's why most fishermen that fish for bass, they like to fish where there's real heavy structure because they know that's where those bass will be. They prefer to live in warm, calm, still waters. But I mean, as we know, there's bass. You got river bass, creek bass, and such things like that. But they're adapted to that kind of water. So, let's see. The largemouth bass, they're a very unique species of freshwater fish, and I hope that after this speech, I helped y'all to gain more knowledge on this bass, and I hope that after informing y'all that y'all come to appreciate the largemouth bass even better. Thank you guys.